Hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 10 months and counting, because the daily stream streak must remain strong, I am here to open my office door to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse or metaphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 2 hours, maybe 3 if we're feeling zesty. But before I begin, just a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, it seems to have turned into tradition. I don't know if you guys know this, but during the intro speech to every stream now, Puppy of Interest 42 comes to visit. Like clockwork. She hears me introduce you guys, and she's like, oh, well, now I need to come say hi. Yes, she is a sweetie pumpkin. Puppy of Interest 42, codenamed Charlie. But why does she think that every single stream intro is her cue to come and say hello? It's because she knows there's an audience, and she knows... Oh, don't make me yawn. Oh, you made me yawn. Yes, you wanted to come say hi to the stream? You want to put your tongue in my mouth? These are all things that she wants, apparently. So, Puppy of Interest 42, away! Thank you, Agent Goose. Now I do not need to go wash my hands because my allergy meds are not strong enough. Wipes will do. So, housekeeping other than that. First of all, sleep-deprived dragon of the night. Congratulations on being our #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being our first chatter. On top of that, Arg Sands, Amber, Stephen Tambari, Just Pit, Aoki, Nikki Knackle, Sheeny, long time no see, hope you're doing well. Rebel Commander. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members of Site-42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, Ethics Committee, Unfixed Cake, Skippy, David Mata, SCP-049, and Philly Prods. Thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here today, just for being you. Now, furthermore, a little bit of news going into today's stream. We have a couple of sponsorships for today's stream. First and foremost, we are being sponsored by Site42 ourselves, where you can get such joyous things as the Foundation Fitness Initiative t-shirt for those of you in rehab or going to the gym like I am, the Where the Dragon Went t-shirt or coffee mug, our Site42 logo, the Reservoir Docs t-shirt, Just Keep Spinning, I see no gender only victims, or the employees of the Anomalous Furniture Store. Either way, all of this delightful merch is available at our friends, the scpstore.org, who handle the merchandising opportunities for us as well as other SCP content creators. Thank you, SCP Store, for supporting our work. Furthermore, we have a couple of SCP Kickstarters going right now. First and foremost in the SCP Kickstarters is Eye of the Beholder Season 1, a narrative podcast originally written with a great voice cast and editing and sound effects. I have heard episode 1. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and iHeartRadio Podcasts. If you like listening to original tales in the SCP Foundation verse, this is a good one that I might want to see a full season of. And so head over to their Kickstarter, linked in our Beacons pit, if you want to check that out. Stephen Tambari, you are correct. It does have yaoi, if that is the thing that interests you. Minty, thank you for telling me that it is also on Spotify. I did not know that, actually. Furthermore, friends of Kickstarter, friends of the channel, SCP Gallionic, their numbers going up in front of our eyes. SCP the Anime is currently more than double its Kickstarter, but with a lot of ways to go. The SCP upcoming anime short film is still going on their stretch goals. They're about here, remaking one of their SCP shorts. But we want to get to the 15-minute short. We want to get to the 20-minute short. So do not let off the gas, people. Do not let off the gas. We need to get SCP Gallionic even further beyond. Ah! Muted myself. TLDR, what I said. Go support some studios' Kickstarter for Gallionic, as well as Eye of the Beholder for their podcast. And if you can't donate or you already have donated, keep sharing them everywhere. We want to take it to the top, people. That is what Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename Signal Boosters, is all about. I'm already back. I'm on top of it. I know what to do. Now, furthermore, before I get into our main stream subject of the day, did I tell y'all guys about the SCP television show episode that I came up with the other day? Did I remember to tell you guys about that? Because I don't think I remember to tell you guys about that. And I just think that's pretty fun. So if I didn't tell you about the TV show episode I came up with, I want to tell you about the TV show episode I came up with really quick. If I already did, I don't want to double speak, but not that I remember. Thank you, Dr. Frogman. You're the first one. Okay. So a couple days ago, I went a little viral on Twitter because I informed SCP Twitter and non-SCP Twitter about SCP-3688. Codename, You Can Dance If You Want To, but colloquially known as the Safety Dance. And so a lot of people are very entertained that the Safety Dance exists. I'm entertained that the Safety Dance exists. But later on, after that tweet, I had a brainstorm. You see, one of my favorite ideas for an SCP series is basically to do Warehouse 13, but SCP. Warehouse 13, for those unfamiliar, is a series where a couple of FBI agents are brought into the secret anomaly side of the government. And so, they go on adventures. They contain anomalies. I've only seen a couple episodes, but what I saw was pretty good. But That's just an SCP Foundation TV show. Why can't we do that? Why can't we have a couple of agents going out into the field, hunting anomalies, bringing them back? Why can't we have them encounter other rival groups of interest who are trying to get and or destroy those anomalies? Why can't they have an episode where they go out there and they have to spend a while there, and one of the agents falls in love with someone in the town, and they're having a good relationship, and everything's great until she catches the cognitohazard of the week, and now the agent needs to amnesticize her. And it doesn't have to be a her, unless it could be, I don't care about gender here. They could be gay, they could be non-binary, it could be anything. What's pointing here is we can do a lot in the episodic sense, encountering different anomalies and such. And here is where I'm looking at. So, one episode, a group of agents bring in a dangerous humanoid anomaly, a psychic anomaly. Maybe it has some other powers, but I kind of wanted to read minds for something I'll bring up later. And then, while they are plotting at the safe house, they've locked it down, they're getting ready to transport it to a main site, the entity breaks out, kills everyone except for one agent on site. That agent manages to hit the emergency frequency so the Foundation knows something is wrong. They manage to get the safe house lockdown key, meaning that the anomaly can't break out, and then they start doing the safety dance. The episode is a tension episode where the Foundation has to make its way to the safe house to rescue this agent before they run out of energy to keep the safety dance going. Meanwhile, the anomaly is just pacing around the room, tries to hit them, but the dance deflects it. Tries to psychologically torment the agent into stopping the dance, bringing up past traumas, messing with their minds. Throws over a water cooler, makes the floor hella wet. That way, the agent might be more precariously slipping while trying to do the dance. All in order to stop the safety dancing agent. Now, since I'm imagining this as a Monster of the Week kind of show, I don't want our character to die here. So I do eventually want them to be able to hold up, power through, in order for the other agents to come in and rescue them. But, or not but. And so by the end, we're like a wrap-up scene in the site gym as the agent and other agents are working on their cardio, running faster and faster. That way the next time, they'll be able to dance for longer. So yeah, that's just my fun idea for an episode of an SCP procedural show. The safety dance episode. And thank you. Who was it in chat that reminded me of a piece of news? Intern Care. Intern Care. You reminded me of something that I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't remember it. And that is, I got an email message from friends of the channel, Keter Labs. And Keter Labs just wanted me to show you something. And so, if you have not been to the Keter Labs YouTube channel today, then let me give you something to feast your eyes upon. Say hello to Zach.
Hey Mark, my name is Zach Lona. I'm an independent filmmaker directing a feature film adaptation of SCP Containment Breach. And today I would like to talk with you about something related to that. So in the spirit of SCP, we want to consider the community's input on certain creative decisions for the film. And recently we opened up the casting conversation to the 16,000 people who have been following the project so far, and we asked them a cold question: who would you like to see in the lead Foundation scientist role? And they were nearly unanimous. Everyone wants Markiplier. But hear me out, because this is something where you make way more sense than any other name we got. I mean, you're not some name we're chasing for clout here. You are already an SCP fan. You personally introduced millions of people to SCP Containment Breach, and you really know how to make a tight budget stretch on a claustrophobic sci-fi horror production like this one. So given all that, I think this is something that you might find particularly interesting. Our goal here is to give Containment Breach the studio quality adaptation that we feel it deserves, and a lot of other people feel the same way. And towards this goal, last year we released a 10-minute proof of concept short that screened at Beyond Fest and Film Quest. We are partnered with the Coppola family's Decentralized Pictures nonprofit, and with them we're going to be greenlighting additional SCP short films from filmmakers in the community. And iconic SCP creators like Dr. Sherman from Site 42 are already on board with the mission. So together we're creating high-level SCP cinema the only way that it can actually get made, which is indie filmmakers working with the direct support of the community. Because this is the thing of it, you probably already know that the licensing requirements with SCP mean that the big studios will never touch it, even though they would absolutely love to. So we're trying to prove to the world that SCP cinema at that level can get made if you use an indie film model. And we're aiming high because we are planning for a theatrical first release. So if you're curious about what we're building, let's definitely talk. And if we don't talk, no hard feelings, truly. I know this is kind of a big ask. Maybe not as big as getting thrown around a submarine in an ocean of blood. But either way, the Iron Lung playbook is exactly what we're throwing down for SCP, and we are full steam ahead. So you know where to find us. Thanks for watching, Mark. Excelsior.
Okay, so first of all, he called me iconic. Thank you for recognizing. I appreciate it. Secondarily, let me put my ambiance back on. Thirdly, for Unfixed Cake in the chat, I know you mentioned, no, we don't want Markiplier, we want you. Or something similar to that, which, don't worry, number one, Keter Labs, they have a part for me. And as much as iconic as I am, and would be in the main role of the movie, I do want to let you know, Markiplier's got a little more clout than me. And if I have to take a hit to be a small cameo, that way we can put Markiplier's beautiful face in the marquee, then I'd be happy for that, okay? I'd be happy for that. I would give Markiplier all the flowers in the world at the main role, because you know that would help the production get super made super quickly. Furthermore, I mean, this just goes over further, because if Markiplier agrees to this, then maybe he'll agree to my passion project, which is Containment Breach with Markiplier, the Choose Your Own Adventure SCP Containment Breach YouTube series, basically just doing In Space with Markiplier, but as Containment Breach. That is also something I want to happen. And if I can trade away the lead role in Containment Breach the movie to get Markiplier on board in negotiations for Containment Breach with Markiplier, the Choose Your Own Adventure series, well, you know what? I am just that nice of a guy. But sheesh, yes, thank you for reminding me of that, because yes, go hype that as well. As Frogman, I think, said, we got the Gallionic Chamber trailer to number 4 on Hyped. I don't get YouTube hype points, because you don't get hype points if your channel has over 500,000 subs. So I need you guys, Mobile Task Force Psi 42, codename Signal Boosters, to use your hype points on the SCP Gallionic trailer, to use your hype points on the Keter Labs videos. That way, we can get more stuff. So Chica can play Dr. Kane Pathos Crow. You are correct. In fact, Chica is basically the same kind of dog as Dr. Crow. It's too perfect. It's too perfect. So yes, that is today's SCP Foundation Community News. Who is Chica? Just Pit Chica is Markiplier's dog. So, thank you to all of the SCP content creators out there, doing good art, growing the community, growing their artistic prowess, making the world a better place, one piece of art at a time. Do, 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 do. And now, before I get to today's mainstream subject, let me talk to you guys who sent in some donations to start. So, Intern Skeppy, thank you for sending 10 100s to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure that the team will continue to keep it very 100 thanks to your intense urging. Sheeny, thank you for your 10 months membership as a Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Slide you a Cutwater lemon drop martini. I haven't been around recently, but given how things go around here, I think it's generally in order. Cheers. Oh god, you missed Crash Out Day the other day. The Containment Hazard Assessment team was particularly unruly, so yes, cheers, love. Cheers. Ethan, thank you for sending a laughing disco. I didn't see that come up. Must have been while I was showing something. As well as some torches and some bronze medals. And, yes. So, over the course of those, I'm sure that they will very much keep striving for the gold and silver, but be glad to have placed third place anyways. And you will like their way to that silver and gold. And after they win it, they will go to the laughing disco, I guess. Yes, that is the story of this stream, I am sure. Furthermore, Arg Sands, thank you for sending a 100 to the chat. I'm sure they will keep it 100 at your urging as well. And Sheeny, thank you for the bronze medal to keep inspiring them to strive for the silver and gold. Computer Guy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a plate of nachos on your way past the commissary. I mean, Markiplier in the lead role, sure. That doesn't mean Dr. Sherman is available to be a site director. I mean, his site is a through site. Yes, of course, they will have to come stop by. They'll have to do a little video call. I'll have to show up and be like, hey, what are you doing over there, Site Director Iplier? Site Director Iplier, what are you doing? You can't do that. You're going too far. People will get hurt. You have to stop. And then he'll turn it off and he'll do whatever mission actually saves the day, even though it was really, really risky. Double checking some notifications here. I'm so glad whoever that was, again, pulled up the Keter Labs thing, because I did want to tell you guys about that, and it was the one thing I was forgetting while I was trying to do that. Hashtag desk as No Line's background clef. Just Clef in the background of a shop playing a ukulele and just sitting there chilling. That's all. Very good. All right, Site 42 staff. I've gotten through the donos. I've gotten through the site news. Let's talk about today's subject. This is, today, an SCP author profile. An SCP author dive. And it's only because over the last week or so, and especially over the last day or so, I have accidentally brought up the works of one SCP author repeatedly. And that SCP author is the Great Hippo. The Great Hippo, who has retired from the SCP Wiki a fair time ago. Unfortunately for them, there was some mental health, some anxiety, some situations that their leaving note on the wiki says. It's not anyone on the site's fault, it's just being able to handle the community, which, you know, the SCP Wiki is a creative site. It gets all sorts of people with certain mental health issues. You get the ADHDs, the autisms. You get people who might not be very sociable, because after all, this is just an online website for writing fan fiction with extra steps. And so you get people who are like, all right, well, I'm going to come on and write some fan fiction. Wait, I have to interact with other people? But I didn't want to do that. It's why I always have a certain amount of grace for everybody involved in the SCP community, because you're dealing with a lot of stressors for people who are writing on a fan fiction site. You are dealing with a lot of stressors from external threats for people who are just trying to write on a fan fiction site. Thank you. This is a very serious topic for Cat Ear's silent follower. Much obliged. And so yes, I try to give the most grace to the SCP Wiki's staff and members, because a lot of these people, I mean, a lot of them are some of them are still teenagers. Some of them are, hell, some of them are not even 18 or 19. They lied to get on the site. You gotta be really careful about that. And then you got people, me, turning 40, curmudgeonly. You got people who are older than me on here, so to speak. And so there's a lot of people on here. Dealing with that kind of vast community can be a lot of effort. I don't fault anyone for having problems or anxiety. I just ask that everybody do their best to care for people. That's all we can say at the end of the day, right? But, all of that aside, while the Great HIPPO was active, oh my gosh, did HIPPO write banger after banger after banger after banger on the SCP database. And today, we're just going to look at a couple. In between the donations and the Q&A, I'm just going to pull up a couple bangers from the Great HIPPO. Returning to the chat to see if there's anything came in while I missed. Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a anana on your way past the commissary. The Abyss is calling. Tell it to hold. We're busy. People say your life ends at 20. Yeah. Oh, trust me. My 20s were okay. My 30s, way better. Yeah, no. This is fine wine over here. You get better with age if you do it right, baby girl. Or baby boy. Or baby they. Or baby Jane Doe.
Baby Jane Doe.
Sheenie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a beveragino for the cheersing. Love to everyone. I've missed y'all. Still dealing with the aftermath of the async Christmas party even now. Shaking my head. Oh, geez. Did you see that the date for the Backrooms movie has dropped? A24 just dropped the date of the Backrooms movie. I believe it's May 20-something. A24 date drop May 29th, 2026. So this year, less than 4 months from now, we will be seated for the Backrooms movie. And you know what? The Backrooms is not SCP, but like supporting Markiplier as a YouTube community member, I will also be seated to see the Backrooms movie to see what they are doing with online internet horror as film. The same way that I have seen both FNAF films, and even though I had mixed opinions on them, I'm glad I went to see what's happening in the online horror to actual theatrical film pipeline. If anything, to crib notes so that we can do the same thing for the SCP community. Intern, no. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a hot pocket on your way past the commissary. I'm making an SCP-based text management text-based management game. Any recommendations on what SCPs to add? Well, I mean, gosh, there's over 10,000 of them, so going outside the standards that everyone's going to say, I suggest you add SCP-2337, codenamed Dr. Spanko. You have a high risk of having your eardrums blown out if you encounter this anomaly without proper ear protection. And go ahead and add SCP... I believe I want you to add SCP-6868 because it is a animate and sentient rubber duck, and if you touch it, if it touches any liquid, it will turn that liquid into purified water and pink soap bubbles, which if you need to get a floor full of acid cleaned up really quickly, throwing the duck on there, that's a great way to do it. However, if you touch it with your bare hands, all of the liquid in your body turns into soapy water and then you die. So you gotta be careful with that one. So yes, those are my two recommended for your game. All right, people. The first of our Great HIPPO SKIPPOS. And I'm not the one who came up with that. No, this is the author page. This is the Great HIPPO's Great SKIPPOS. So, when it comes to iconic SCP characters created specifically by the Great HIPPO, you know I have to start with one of my very favorite SCPs on the entire site. That is correct. SCP 3043. Codename Murphy Law in Type 3043 for murder. Murphy Law originated not even in Murphy Law's own article. That's right, before Murphy Law was SCP-3143 on the database, Murphy Law invaded the documentation for SCP-3043, which is I believe a 1937 Olympia Elite typewriter. And so a typewriter that could bend reality. A living typewriter that could bend reality, which was very problematic. And Murphy Law showed up on site and shot that thing dead, causing it to no longer bend reality around the site. Murphy Law saved our goddamn lives. And by that, God in this time, I don't mean a Jesus. I'm invoking Mr. Bogart himself, film noir God. And so, Murphy Law originating SCP-3043, and let me tell you, if you want to have a good time with the Murphy Law articles, on this very YouTube channel, Site 42, in our content tab, in our playlist tab, if you go far enough down, you will find a playlist called the Murphy Law Playlist. And the Murphy Law Playlist is a collection of readings of Murphy Law articles done up as full radio plays. And of those, I gotta tell you, the best part about it, I found a damn good voiceover actor for Murphy Law. The Murphy Law articles on this page, my buddy Sean, who voiced Murphy, grizzled, gravelly, got exactly what you want, almost gives the Nick Cage Spider Noir vibe. So, exactly what you want to see. We haven't done every Murphy Law episode. The pandemic kind of put a hole in that. But, at the very least, you can enjoy what we've got here. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say, not SCP, but sure as hell SCP adjacent and must support. You're damn right. Half the problem is people in these online communities get the spats with each other when they should be supporting each other. Why do you have to make fun of the Backrooms Wiki? They can have fun with their little thing. Why do you gotta be a dick about it? Don't be a dick about it. Be cool about it. And then they'll be cool to us, and then we'll all support each other making art. Isn't that what it's all about? Furthermore, I saw a Ko-Fi notification. Let me grab that so I don't miss it. Nicky Knackle, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go to the Site 42 Ko-Fi to do it. As you well know, the Site 42 Ko-Fi only takes 3% of your donation, where every super chat takes 30%. The Ko-Fi also has a better character limit. So we thank you for making the effort to go to the Ko-Fi when you donate. It is, and grab yourself a tostada on your way past the commissary. It is hype time, people. You know what to do. You know what to do, Mobile Task Force Site 42, codename Sigma Boosters. When it comes to all of these projects, you know what to do. Don't talk to me. I am sitting for stream right now. I will stand up later. You're not the boss of me. Chat needs a refresh. It's having some errors. Really bad errors. In fact, I can't even see chat. Bring back the chat. Bring back the chat. Oh, where is my chat? There's my chat. Perfect. I would love an official crossover between SCP and the Backrooms. Well, 369 Destroyer, I have no power over such things. I mean, we already have enough spatial anomalies without having to deal with that one. But, I guess that's up to, Async. If they can be cool for a minute and let us do some science. Dr. Sherman, does being stuck in an alternate universe called the Neverment count as being contained? Not really. I mean, unless that's the containment procedure where we had to shove you into there to keep you from destroying the Earth here, then that might be a containment protocol, but in and of itself, being in another dimension is not containment. You would actually more likely call that uncontained, unless that is the containment. I'm actually an author on the Backrooms Wiki, might be able to do something with that. Well, be careful, ARG Sands, because you are looking at bumping up against the license there. You got to make sure that the Creative Commons license for SCP and whatever the Backrooms is doing do not intersect poorly in a way where the crossover would go wrong. Got to watch out for that. I have a question. What do you think of the Iron Lung movie by Markiplier? Intern Dragon, I think Markiplier's Iron Lung was a fun movie. I enjoyed it greatly. Plus, very impressive for a single YouTuber to make that happen like that. Gives hope to all of us other online creators for what we could do in the future. All right, everyone. So, we already know that the Great Hippo wrote one of my favorite characters on the wiki, Murphy Law. But what other iconic characters, what other bangers did the Great Hippo create? You can't just write one banger and be done. No, no, no. If you're the Great Hippo, then you make banger after banger after banger, like I said. And so next up is someone we've been talking about very recently. Someone who actually became, oh me oh my, a theme park mascot for the SCP Foundation. That's right, the Great Hippo is the creator of Skippy. Skippy terrifies us. Skippy is the real eldritch being at the core of the SCP database. The Skippy mouse mascot at the SCP Foundation theme park started beating patrons of the theme parks to death with its bare hands. So, remember, as Stephen Tamari has said in the chat so thoroughly importantly, stick to the fucking format, or Skippy will come after you. And I don't want Skippy coming after me. No, 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 no. And so you can learn about Skippy if you're unfamiliar in the Essay and Resource Hub of the SCP database, where SCP authors write guides to help you with your formatting. And this guide is called Your Very First SCP. And so the introduction to Skippy is there for you. Ugh, give me the heebie-jeebies. Trust me, I like Skippy, but it's a fearful revenance. A fearful revenance. Yeah, Dr. Smith, you remember when we found When Skippy Breaks? That was, I think, your very last SCP. Popping back to the Great Hippo's Great Skippos. And returning to the chat before we go on to the next one. The Beast No. Thank you for donating this time to the Ko-Fi. I believe you donated first to the chat itself, yes. So thank you for donating again, but this time making the effort to go to the Ko-Fi. We appreciate that greatly. You did not send a message with this donation. So simply thank you for your generosity, and or I hope you didn't accidentally send it without your message, and in that case, I'm sorry. But either way, we thank you for your generosity. Oh yeah, isn't that the one where Dado pissed us Skippy off? That's exactly what happened in your very last SCP. On a Skippy tangent, everyone, if you're unfamiliar, Dado, famed parapharmacologist, otherwise known as a maker of anomalous medicines, tried to write an SCP document himself. Dado is known for poor misspellings and having a broken caps lock key, meaning that only type in lowercase. And so Skippy versus Dado was a very, very dark, I want to say a dark day in Foundation history, except it wasn't dark because it was very sunny, in fact, because Skippy became the sun and day broke. Very bright indeed. Did we cover SCP-2639 yet, written by HIPPO? Tao, good to see you in the chat, buddy. Hope you've been doing well. And no, as a matter of fact, we had not covered codename video game violence. But since that tweet that's going viral right now, on which Shaggy and I both commented, is why we're talking about this today, as well as some other things that came up. Yes, let's go on to the next iconic SCP out of the dozens of iconic concepts that the great HIPPO came up with. Video game violence. SCP-2639 is a troop of 3 humanoid entities who teleport into a location, get in a massive gunfight, ending up killing multiple people in the area, and then disappearing like they're being sucked out of the area like Reboot. Game in, game out. Because SCP-2639 believes they are inside a game of Quake. And so, they are frickin' teleporting around the world, accidentally killing people until we get a hold of them and tell them, hey, you know what you're doing, right? And then because they're good folk, they feel bad about it. But then, we convince the SCP-2639s to become a mobile task force for the Foundation. A teleporting, self-regenerating mobile task force. And that, I can't imagine sicker shit than that. I honestly can't. Also, 2639, going to the Tales edition of Series 3. As a reminder, whenever you go to the series page of an SCP series, you can click on the Tales edition, and it lists all of the tales written for each SCP. Meaning if there's an SCP you like and you want to know more, you can pop in here. So 2639 down here, 2639 doesn't have any tales at all? Huh. Sad for them. Although I did hear someone say that they are pretty OP and can solve most problems, therefore probably that's a bit why they're neglected on the database. Is if you had a full bore teleporting regenerative mobile task force, then yeah, you might not be in a position to need much more. But finally, Tao brought up, let me go back to 2639 real quick. 2639, video game violence is here. Ooh. Okay, good. There are a couple times when they show up in other SCPs, at least. So, Mobile Task Force Omega-9, codenamed the Scrubs, and it turns out Tau has designed this logo, which is pretty cool. The Quake SCP Mobile Task Force team. And they are involved in SCP-5000, which is terrifying to me. 6776 and 3797-archive. So, that's pretty cool. Video game violence is the one that I keep forgetting its designation number as well as its code name, so I always have to go looking for it again. I always have to Google, like, SCP Quake players and see if I can find it. But that doesn't speak anything less to how badass that article is. Alright, popping over to the chat, seeing if there's any donos I missed, any good questions before we move on to the next Hippo Banger. Nikki Knackle, thank you for donating to the Ko-Fi again to say, views are at 66 and likes are 81. This means the like count has exceeded the view count. And at the moment I'm looking, it still does, with 67, don't say it, viewers and 89 likes. You guys have hit that like button enough to get the like count above the viewer count, and that means that the YouTube algorithm will be forced to bring us more people who will look at the SCP database and go, oh wow, I didn't know that there was so much good work on there. Maybe I should check out this SCP thing a little more thoroughly. And that's how we get them. That's how we get them to help us to support the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters, etc. We want more SCP content, so thank you. Oh, by the way, just a side tangent. Did you know that if I tell you to please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation, that really makes the anti-wokes angry? I don't know if I told you guys about this, but over on the SCP Site 42 Facebook page, which, yeah, having to do every social media platform really gets you down to the dregs, but we're finding some good people over there. Some good people over there. But, oh no, the fact that the chuds see a person with colored hair clap talking about pronouns, they so angry. And it's so fucking funny. Because that frickin' video is about me correcting someone about SCP-096 Shy Guy's pronouns. The video is literally, hey, all anomalies are its, not he or she. They are objects. So please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. But these people, they hear the word pronouns, and they turn into rabid dogs. They're just barking over there. They're just yapping. They're just chirping. And it's like, no, actually, I mean, in real life, I don't agree with them because they're awful people. But at least in character, I agree with them. The anomaly wants me to use their preferred pronouns, and I'm saying no, we dehumanize them on purpose by not calling them their preferred pronouns. So, if someone asks you to use preferred pronouns, you get mad. If I say I'm not going to use preferred pronouns, they get mad. I think they just don't like the word pronouns. Maybe we should find another word for pronouns. And they'll get mad at that because they're all idiots. But no, it's just very funny over there, the pronoun phobia. It's just very funny over there, the pronoun phobia. If you want to go to that post on the Facebook, it's from like 2 or 3 days ago. There are just 350-something, 367 comments. Now, to be fair, about a third of those comments are me clapping back. Because the opportunity to dunk on some chuds, I could not resist. I could not resist being mean to the haters and losers. So that was a little bit of that is on me, but I hope you, did the Facebook page get a violation? No, the Facebook page did not get a violation. We're in the clear. They're just being pissy. so useless in the greater scheme of life, the things they're willing to get angry at. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say, what do we do with the Ghostbusters? They broke the veil. Well, you notice after Ghostbusters 1, everyone went back to thinking that ghosts weren't real and that somehow the Ghostbusters faked the whole thing. We help with that. That's our disinformation campaign. Trust me. New York especially, they will not believe in ghosts. Give it a couple months. Bouncing around the Ko-Fi real quick. I see some new things come in. Sheeny, thank you for donating through the Ko-Fi this time. We appreciate you making the effort. The upper echelon of async is a bunch of bitches, but trust and believe your girl trying. Oh no, trust me, my faith is in you, not async. You. I'm sure that you can play around with their addled-minded, bad bureaucracy and get them to come to the table. Come to the table. The Beast No, thank you for donating again to clarify your message. I'm sorry it didn't work the first time. My last one sent without the message. To clarify, my game is going to be called SCP Anomaly Control Network. I like it. And it's coming sometime this or next month. I'm also going to make a containment breach, but text-based, called SCP No Exit. Have a good 7:34 p.m. in your time zone. Okay, well, have a good evening yourself. I believe we're in the Eastern... You must be in the Eastern time zone then. I'm in the Pacific, so it's a bit earlier here. And, okay, text-based management game and then a text-based containment breach simulator. I look forward to seeing how you pull those off, and I hope they do well. If you're making games, tell me about it. Hit me up in the business email if there's anything I can do to help people make more SCP games out there. Tires, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. We appreciate the effort. Grab yourself a pack of Skittles on your way past the commissary. What would the pronoun protocol be for SCPs who help the Foundation research and contain other anomalies? Would they be able to refer to other SCPs by their preferred pronouns? So, the rule here is, if an anomaly that is contained is loyal enough to the Foundation that they are elevated to a staff position, then they are given their pronouns back. So, Dr. Clef is a he. And a lot of things, but at least a he. Furthermore, I would think that we would enforce proper pronoun parlance protocols on that anomalous staff member toward contained anomalies, and if they were unprofessional by using preferred pronouns of anomalies, then that would be a grounds for discipline, if not demotion back to contained anomalies. Alright, I think I've covered all the Ko-Fis. And then... Intern Balls, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Peking duck on your way past the commissary. And you didn't send a donation with your... you didn't send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Another Ko-Fi dropped in. Sheeny, thank you for donating again to say, we out here manipulating, don't worry. Oh, with you at the helm, I am not worried. All right. Preferred pronouns are redacted until they gain employee status. Basically illogical. Didn't know you had a business email. I will keep that in mind, and I will also make sure to only contact via my own email that I use for game creation stuff. And of course, only contact if it's okay too. Yes, please remember, do not use my business email for role-playing or standard questions, anything like that is only for business contacts. And for you, Beast No, since you are in development of a game, My business email is located in the beacons.ai/site42 support link that is pinned in the chat, as well as the description of our VODs. And so, in case you're unfamiliar, the beacons.ai/site42, otherwise known as the Site42 support beacon, is where you can find all of our social medias if you want to follow us on other platforms, as well as Kickstarters we are supporting, are usually at the top, and then other merchandise and stuff like that are featured below as well. So anything Site42 that I want you to know about, you can always go to beacons.ai/site42 to check it out and see what's happening. There's only one link that we don't put there. And we don't put it there because that's an Easter egg hunt. Alright, double checking the chat. It's okay. We're back. Yo, Doc, can we take the DNA of SCPs to make super soldiers, or is there too much of a risk? Intern Sank, while we do experimentation in a lot of ways with SCPs, the crossover of anomalous DNA with human DNA is a risky business that is only undertaken under very strict protocols. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, I'm just saying be careful. Dr. Sherman, the word nominatives is a synonym for pronouns. Also, can we get a dad joke? Well, speaking of pronouns, one problem with these people is they're so ill-suited, so ill at understanding and using pronouns that I wouldn't even say they know what pronouns are. The best that these people can get up to is amateur nouns at best. Alright, let's close these that we've already covered. Okay, returning to the Great Hippos, Great SKIPPOS. Part of the reason this has come up is because, as I said, while Tao was here, SCP-2639 came up in a tweet that's gone viral. Just someone sharing that, hey, there's this weird SCP that I like, which you love to see it. You love to see SCP going viral on Twitter for not terrible reasons. But in that reply, Shaggy Dreadlocks, another great SCP author, obviously the author of When Day Breaks, as well as numerous SCPs, including the collab we worked on together, SCP-5999. And by worked on together, I mean I added a couple sound effects at top, so don't give me too much credit here. But Shaggy shared, oh yeah, did you know that frickin' Great Hippo wrote some other banger SCPs and shared some more? One of the ones that I thought of and I responded to, because another one of my favorite iconic Great Hippo SCPs is SCP-3041, codename The Red Knife. SCP-3041, codename The Red Knife, is a very simple article. You got the red knife here. You got a couple logs. How long are the logs? They're not that long, actually. It's a fairly short SCP. But what's happening here with this red knife? Well, for a long time, we didn't know. And in fact, if you read the SCP document, in universe, we still don't know what's going on with that thing. But Aoki says, I think I've heard of this before, I don't know. Well, if you forgot, that would be very pertinent. Because this, with our cognitohazardous fields up, so we can talk about it properly, this is an anti-memetic knife. SCP-3041, the red knife, is not explained in the document. You're supposed to get the hints by reading it. But essentially, when you hold the knife with a bare hand, all of a sudden, you black out and start murdering people. And those people are anti-memeticized out of existence of current knowledge. silent follower. Thank you for the cat ears on top of this bloody, violent speech that I'm giving. Very appropriate timing. And so we ended up utilizing frickin' D-class in with this red knife. And I think we, critical site-wide shortages of D-class personnel have been reported since testing with SCP-3041 began. These shortages have yet to be explained. While no D-class personnel appear to be absent or missing, only a fraction of the expected number of D-class personnel are present. How many D-class did we throw at this thing? Hand me that shit when I show up. Damn right, Sheeny. Damn right. And so SCP-3041 is extremely dark. One of the frickin'... the final note. I'm just going to read the final note. Spoilers. But here you go. The following note was found at the home of a Mr. Crenshaw after his body was discovered. The knife was discovered alongside the body. The nightmare began a year ago and it won't stop. In it, my arm is wet with blood, the knife in hand, glittering like a brilliant shining ruby. My heart beats like a drum. Before me, I see the faces of strangers, contorted in agony, screaming for mercy. A woman, a man, children, 3 girls, and a little baby boy. I do not know them. I cut them open. I cut them open, and then I eat their hearts. I know it's just a nightmare, but it feels so real, so vivid. And there are times when I swear I can taste raw meat on the back of my tongue, when I can feel it slide down my throat into my belly. I've lived a long life, a long, lonely life. I've never known friends or family. So why do I live in a house with so many rooms? Why does each room fill me with guilt and dread? Why can't I bring myself to go down to the basement? Why does it smell like rotting flesh? And why do I own a crib? My nightmare took place under the house. I've never gone down to look. I'm too afraid. If you're reading this, then you'll have to look for me. Maybe you'll find nothing. I pray you find nothing. Either I'm crazy or I'm the devil. Please God, let me be crazy. So, I think you get the point. I did forget to say that not only is the knife antimemetic and it erases the people you killed from our knowledge, but also you ate their hearts for some reason. And also, the corpses are invisible. But that doesn't mean that they aren't there, rotting and stinking up the place. The Great Hippo. Why? What is in your head that you wrote this? I love it and I'm horrified of it. And now before coming back to the chat, because Hippo wrote another anti-memetic knife. Taking a crack at the same well, are you, Hippo? But let's go down to SCP-4087, codename Absence of a Knife. Yes, Dr. Frogman, that one. Because I didn't know. No, wrong one. Different one. Different anti-memetic knife. This is the third anti-memetic knife, I guess, because I didn't even know about this one. 4087 is a set of antique spring-driven push-button knives. Each blade is 9.2 centimeters in length and composed of stainless steel. Produced by Gavrilo Mangiano, a Maniago, an Italian knife maker, as part of a private commission. He only completed 6 prior to his murder. identified in 1973 after a mathematical model created by the Foundation's Department of Analytics, linked them to over 100 homicides across 50 years. In each case, law enforcement identified one of the 6 knives as the murder weapon. Each knife was repeatedly lost, returned, or auctioned off. As of 1975, all 6 knives have been recovered and accounted for. Since then, over 200 additional homicides have been identified an identical knife as the murder weapon. An investigation of these homicides has determined that despite all evidence to the contrary, no actual murder weapon exists. After a thorough forensic examination of all 6 knives, researchers made the following observations. They exhibit no observable anomalous properties. They lack any sign of significant wear or use. These knives are killing people, but they're not killing people. How? 4087, codename Absence of a Knife. It's pretty crazy, man. It's not the one I thought it was. I think Frogman, did you know the one I was talking about? Where the junior researcher has a knife, but no one believes them? That's the one I was thinking of, but it's not that one. It's just, again, another anti-memetic knife. We have a lot of anti-memetic knives, and they all go in radically different directions. Wonder what that's about. Frogman, let me see if I'm talking about 4955. That does sound right. Yes, codename. A knife only seen through gaslight is the codename. And, yes, it is a knife that the researcher ends up killing a bunch of people because they keep not believing that he's holding a knife. 4955 is the one I was thinking about, and I adore that article. It's very funny. Okay, and by the way, someone right the fuck now needs to go to the SCP database and upvote SCP-4955. I need a member of the site who hasn't upvoted it to do it, because it's at plus 665. Someone who knows this article and likes it but hasn't upvoted, go fix this for me. It's right there. It's right there, guys. And as long as my phone's in my hand, here is Puppy of Interest 42. Come back to say hello. As soon as she saw me coming over to say hi, she dropped down into belly rubbing position. She knows the rules. The belly rubbins. Sweetest pumpkin in the Foundation. And I am refreshing the page. Thank you, whoever updated it to plus 666. I just think that's delightful. Now, obviously, if someone wants to update it past that because it's a good article, I'm not going to be mad. But we got it to 666. Everyone can be happy about that. All right, so that was 3 anomalous knives in a row for some reason. Let me run over to the chat again and see how we're doing. O53 is cool. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chicken Caesar salad on your way past the commissary. Good to see you are doing well, Site 42, signed O53. Well, yes, I am doing quite well today. We're having a bang-up stream. Good to see you and hope you're doing okay, too. Intern Wayne, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a blueberry muffin on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, it's my 052. I'm sorry we can't chat on the walkie-talkie, but can I get a shout-out? Well, 052, hey, shout-out to you. Thank you for joining us. We have a couple overseers with us today. Interesting day. What is the official mobile task force of Site-42? Intern Johnson, that would of course be Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. The SCP Mobile Task Force tasked with hyping SCP Foundation projects such as animations, games, films, merch, podcasts, as well as hyping the SCP authors and artists as well, supporting the community so we can get bigger and better SCP projects. And also, the best damn hot dog eating contest winners of the SCP Foundation. not a contest. I mean, a hot dog eating contest is a contest, but them being the best, that's no contest. Isn't the Containment Hazard Assessment Team a Mobile Task Force group or just a team? The Containment Hazard Assessment Team is just a team. They're not a Mobile Task Force, although all of them, I assume, are members of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codenamed Signal Boosters, as well. Intern Wayne, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will continue to strive for the silver and gold thanks to your urging. Same to you, Intern Cam. Thank you for another bronze medal. I am sure they are hankering for that silver and gold, and you are inspiring them to strive. Good work. And let me double check if any Ko-Fis came in while I was yapping. Don't want to miss those. All clear, all clear. All caught up. Intern Mimikyu, thank you for sending a bronze medal. I am sure the Containment Hazard Assessment Team will continue striving for greatness because of your urging. And a fun thing about the game, the main way of collecting SCPs is gambling. 30% chance to nab an anomaly. You get research points either way, but more if you get one. Also, I'm putting in one knife. Okay, you're picking a knife. Good move. Furthermore, gambling in this day and age when everybody is gambling addicts. Gotta be careful with that one. Gotta be careful with that one. Happy to be here, Dr. Sherman. Love your content. Well, thank you, Intern Lunar Sky. We appreciate you being here. We're doing our best out on these streets to provide entertainment in the SCP Foundation sphere. Gay. Well, Intern Nolan, the SCP Foundation is an LGBTQIA respectful space. So yes, a vast amount of it is gay. I mean, consider artists. What do you expect? Now me, I mean, you could call me gay, but I'm asexual. That's like kind of tangential. I don't know. Intern Seto Kaiba, thank you for sending a marshmallow to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure that they will enjoy that tasty treat. Too many names, thank you for sending a flower to today's Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am certain that they will enjoy the prettiness of that flower. Y'all are making me wonder if there's a knife tag now. Cliché, compulsion, decommission, esoteric class, meta, researcher smalls, SCP, tool. Okay, so knife goes under the tool set. Interesting, interesting. Intern Layla, if you're going to say Jesus loves you or us, you need to specify. The SCP Foundation contains 6 different iterations of Jesus. We have SCP-029-J, Uber Driver Jesus. SCP-3305, Bread Jesus. SCP-4477, Cock Block Jesus. SCP-5991, Vor Jesus. SCP-6542, Milk Jesus, aka Cheesus. And of course, SCP-7966, literally Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, but is also somehow Jesus. So, which Jesus do you want us to enjoy here? You gotta be more specific. Jesus Christ loves you even though you mock him. In what way did I mock Jesus Christ? Guys, did I mock Jesus in any way? I just simply pointed out, we got a whole lot of Jesus. In fact, you could say that the SCP Foundation is very down with Jesus, very down with keeping Jesus near and dear and close to us in a locked box where we don't let them out. I don't think there's any mockery there. Ducky Quecken, Thank you for sending 10 Site-42 memberships to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain they will appreciate the promotions. Meanwhile, if you receive one of those memberships from Ducky Quacken, and you are currently present in the stream, make sure to thank Ducky Quacken for their generosity. Is Bread Jesus locked in a bread box? Unfortunately, logical, the answer is no. Bread Jesus does go in a standard humanoid containment cell. Furthermore, that's only if the current iteration of SCP-3305, Bread Jesus, is alive. Ooh. Very excitable about Bread Jesus, huh, little one? I think she's excitable and she wants to play. But I don't have any toys for you right here. Your toys are all very far away. I could give you a treat. Oh no. Oh no, a giant. The toy avalanche has come. And now the baby has run. Okay. Let's pick that back up and hopefully they have a fun time over there. Agent Charlemagne, this isn't about you right now. All right, where was I? Ducky Quacken, thank you for donating on top of your gifted donations. Make sure to grab yours, and for being a member as well, grab yourself some Frosty Flakes on your way past the commissary. There is free pizza and free drinks at the commissary. Nice! Glad to hear it. Head on down, team. Canopses, thank you for sending a membership to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team as well. If you receive that membership, make sure to thank them for their generosity. It's weird to me that my parents and teachers are genuinely interested in my animations. Hey, don't take that for granted. Having friends, family, authority figures who are interested in your art and encourage it is pretty cool. And not exactly normal out there in the world. So I'm glad to hear that you're in a good place. I think a Ko-Fi notification came in. Let me get that before I forget it exists. Sheeny, thank you for donating again to the Ko-Fi. Thank you for making the effort. All knife, they dream of themselves in knives. It's a Local 58 reference. Local 58 fans in the chat, did you get that? I didn't get that. All knife, they dream themselves in knives. Canopses, thank you for donating on top of your gifted dono, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a hot link on your way past the commissary. Sir, are biblically accurate angels technically anomalies, even if they're not evil? Since all the deities that we contain, the Greek gods, the gods of every pantheon that exists that we contain, are considered anomalous, so are angels in any sense of the word. Now, just a momentary continuing back to the stream subject, we were talking about the iconic anomalies of a great hippo. Well, something in my current location just reminded me of another iconic SCP by the great hippo. If I can draw your attention back to Puppy of Interest 42, as well as Agent Charlemagne over there. But what is that? What is that tree branch there? Does that happen to be a facet of SCP-2571, Cragglewood Park? What is Cragglewood Park, you say? Well, there was an old creepypasta about a TV show that people remembered from when they were kids, but they couldn't quite remember all of it. Does anyone remember that creepypasta? Because I'm actually blanking on its name right now. Kids TV show, creepypasta. Starts with an S, I think? I'm watching the chat to see if anyone comes up with what I'm thinking of here. I'm going to look up creepypasta old TV show. There's probably a bunch of them, but there's a famous one. Candle Cove. Candle Cove. Thank you, DJ and Desk and myself at the same time. So Candle Cove is a famous creepypasta about an old TV show that people remember it exists. And so Cragglewood Park, can I say, is very Candle Cove vibes. 2571 is a recurring childhood memory of a non-existent theme park called Cragglewood Park. It is estimated that 0.05% of the world's population is affected by SCP-2571. However, recent evidence suggests this number may be growing. The primary vector for 2571's spread is not yet known. Notably, it only appears to be most common among adults raised as an only child. Adults raised as an only child, you say? Afflicted subjects are initially responsive to amnestics, but memories regarding Cragglewood will typically resurface once treatment ceases, so they keep remembering the park. Although descriptions of these memories vary, several details remain consistent. Subjects were between the ages of 4 and 12 when they visited. The park featured numerous characters, primarily centered around anthropomorphic variants of trees and plants, i.e., that spooky stick right there. No adult supervision was present. Calliope music played throughout the park. Subjects attended the park with numerous other children, none of whom they knew. And the park featured only one ride, a carousel. Although children accompanying the subjects boarded this ride, the subjects themselves did not. And if you go through the interview logs, then of course we got interview logs here. And then a video log, a mini cassette with film footage having gone to Cragglewood Park. What's that in the? Oh no! Oh no! Frickin' creepy. I'm going to leave you to read and solve the mystery of this anomalous theme park. But, once again, Cragglewood Park, another iconic Great Hippo SCP. I mean, it's at plus 773. If 4 of you went and upvoted that one, it would be at 777, which would also be cool, but that's up to you guys. I'll check it before the next one to see if we get it to 777. And remember, only upvote it if you like it. I don't want to be accused of botting likes or anything as a community, so don't vote just because I said so. Vote if you like the article or not. If you want to downvote it because you don't like the article, please make it harder to get to 777. Just do what's right in your heart. What if you were to close one eyelid at a time with SCP Peanut? You know, Intern Fox, I haven't had to answer this one in a while. So first and foremost, unless you've been practicing really hard for a long time, most people, when they try to alternate blink, their other eye micro blinks sometimes, making it a lot harder to succeed. Now you could do like a, I'm keeping my eye open situation, but even that might not work. It's also at least memetically known that if you try to alternate eye blink in front of 173, it considers that you are cheating at the game and ganks you anyways, sometimes with the help of a Glock. Ducky Quackin, thank you for donating again to say, I'm just trying to be a good member to the team and add a better anomaly for everyone. Salute to everyone. Well, salute to the team, And just be careful with more adding anomalies. We're already containing over 10,000 anomalies. It's a lot of paperwork and resources. We don't need more. Also, you sent a Mobile Task Force Captain member message, so thank you for that as well. Thank you for your 5 months of service here at Site-42. Being a member of this team makes me proud, and I'm glad that I'm an anomaly that can serve. Salute. Salute to you, too. If you're adding yourself to the roster, that's great. Don't add more anomalies, is all I'm saying. Intern Yo-Yo, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a cup of coffee on your way past the commissary. Hi, I'm doing a poo while watching this. SC poo. Rather unprofessional, wouldn't you think? I happen to know by footage that you happen to walk into the bathroom that's currently infected with the butt ghost. So, watch out for your butt, junior researcher. SCP-786-J does not play when it comes to eating your butt. No, that's not the right number. What is the butt ghost? I always forget the butt ghost number for some reason. 789-J. Yes. Watch your butt. Rave Haven, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a Chicka Cherry Cola on your way past the commissary. Boo, haha, I'm scary. Yes, quietening frightening. I just realized, 789. 789, like how the butt ghost eats your butt. You know, Dr. Frogman, you might be onto something there. You might be onto something there. Mobile Task Force Captain Quacken, thank you for donating again to say, I am indeed an anomaly, sir, but being able to serve makes me happy and proud. And we thank you for your loyalty and your service to the Foundation. Intern Souls, we just answered the blink one eye and then the other for 173 literally 5 minutes ago. Please go back into the VOD and see that answer. Did I see a Ko-Fi notification? I don't want to miss that in case that happened. Nope, all clear. All right, excellent. Going back to the well. First of all, checking if Kragglewood made it to, nope, it did not make it to 777. That's okay. That's not the meaning of today's streaming. So, as we're going through the iconic SCPs of the Great Hippo, not all of them have to be bangers. Not all of them have to be the best frickin' iconic SCP ever. Sometimes you just want to write a good little article. And today, while speaking of today's short, which I believe today's short on YouTube references a question from Ravehaven talking about could the Foundation mistakenly contain someone like Sean Spencer from the television show Psych because we thought that he was a psychic. And in certain comedian-centric SCP universes, yeah, I'm certain that they have accidentally contained a somewhat con man pretending to be a psychic before. But also, in the Twitter thread of that one, someone elaborated, intern Clara elaborated on what kind of fake anomalies due to magicians that might be in an SCP article that's an explained SCP, where we thought it was anomalous but turned it away. It could be a good reason for an article. And although I did not have an article like that on hand, I did have an article about anomalous magic tricks. And that would happen to be SCP-3079, codename 300 Tricks, Stage Magic Made Easy. SCP-3079 is a magic book for sleight of hand stage magic that also happens to contain tricks with anomalous effects, meaning this thing can teach you to do anomalous stage magic. Isn't that something interesting that we would want to keep locked in a box? This one is a short, simple, little article with a nice little bit of feels at the end. So, nothing too major here. It just happened to be part of conversation. Again, I didn't know it was Great Hippo until I looked it up and I was like, oh, damn. There's another Hippos article. Another Hippo article. And another one. And another one. So yeah, 3079. 300 tricks, stage magic made easy. Enjoy it. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say, you did not seem very startled, so fine. 729. Jay. Desk. Mute Rave Haven for 5 minutes. Did you hear that? You scared Puppy of Interest 42. You made Charlie think that I was not okay. That's what you get. Canopses, thank you for donating again to say, is the Foundation an all-gender inclusive company? Yes, in fact, we have a tale on the database called The Foundation is Not Transphobic. It has to do with how we are very inclusive of staff members. It helps the working relationship. That's great. We don't, however, do the same for the anomalies because we don't do it for any anomaly. All anomalies are objects. That's how we treat them all. And so the Foundation is not transphobic. You can check that out. Ducky Quacken, thank you for gifting another 10 Site42 promotions to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. We appreciate your generosity in raising the ranks of the green names to help us win the battle against the white names. Shark Jumping Walrus, thank you for gifting a promotion as well. Everybody who gained promotions, make sure to thank Ducky Quacken and Shark Jumping Walrus if you got a promotion from them. And Ducky Quacken, thank you for donating again to say, being helpful and being able to serve is my mission, sir. And to the team, I also try to be helpful and make sure nobody falls behind. Hell yeah. Do what you do what you do. Canopses, thank you for donating again. Desk shared with me what you said, and it just came off a little too dismissive to Ducky. I don't know if you were role-playing or not, but try to keep the chat as positive space, even when role-playing. Rave Haven, thank you for gifting a Site42 promotion to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. Intern, now researcher, Gregory Dodge. If you happen to be present when you got that promotion, thank Rave Haven for their generosity. And, yes, you're making it up to me. I see that. Lol, Adono got desked. That hasn't happened for a while, actually, now that I think about it. It's usually because people mention Bruno, so that's what I'm used to getting it done. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say, gave a membership for Desk's kindness. Okay, fine. Kindness? Is that a food? No, Desk. Kindness, that is the character from One It Town who went to save the world in a time-traveling adventure with their childhood friends to defeat the massive, world-ending alien Gygus. Intern Lyris, thank you for sending floating hearts to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm certain they're feeling the love. Intern Football, Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Holy shit, Earthbound mentioned. Literally my favorite game, Ravehaven. Dr. Sherman, if you plan on playing the Fallout games, if you want lore play, Fallout 3 or New Vegas. If you want gameplay, then Fallout 4. If you want to play with friends, then Fallout 76. So, intern Nine-Tailed Fox, I'll have you know, I have a shrine to Fallout in my office. I have Nuka-Cola quantum bottles. I have the Charisma bobblehead. I have the Platinum chip. Trust me, I am well down the path of Fallout for 3, New Vegas, and 4. 76 didn't play well, so I didn't get that into it. It felt really slow and glitchy, at least when I played it. And then I haven't played 1 and 2, but I did look into the lore. I haven't gone that far back. Can we see this shrine? Intern Peblo, if 10 more memberships are donated, I will get out of my chair and take you to see the Fallout shrine. Don't forget Fallout Shelter. I did play Fallout Shelter for a little while, and it is very cute. In fact, one of my SCP game ideas is Fallout Shelter, but SCP. Let's do it. Let's get it on mobile. I want to use it as a, hey, I know financially the gacha systems, all that is a little, but if people were getting into it knowing what it is and we could provide a quality with the SCP lore and animations and stuff like that, that people would do it just to support the game, that could be a moneymaker to build up to bigger SCP games that don't use those mechanics. So that's something I have in my mind here. Okay. Ravehaven, thank you for gifting 10 Site 42 memberships. I'm going to go and show you the Fallout Shrine. I will shout out Lyris's donations when I get back, but allow me to take a quick wander. Do 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 do. Okay, so we have, lights are a little dark in here, but let me make some space. So I've got a litany of bottle caps: Sunset Sarsaparilla, Nuka Wild, Nuka Orange, Nuka Cola down there. I got 2 Quantums. I got a full-size Charisma bobblehead, as well as a bunch of little ones here. Double Nerd Rage. That's how you know the Nerd Rage is strong. We also have a Charisma Funko Pop. I don't like Funko Pops in general, but come on. Vault Dweller Male and Charisma, you got to go for it. I also have a Vault 111 keychain that is broken off, but I could probably reattach that to something. In fact, I might do so soon. I have my Platinum chip from the Lucky 38. That came in this nice little satchel here from the Mojave Express. And then my Silver Spectre playing cards and Silver Shroud. I went back to the SCP Foundation again. My Silver Shroud playing cards and signed photograph. So, that is the shrine for Fallout. You're welcome. Also, as long as I'm in here, this is an art piece I picked up from a local artist. This is the Getesla. I saw it and I had to get it because it's so freaking cool. This right here is an Amazon Alexa, so if I plugged it in, then I could use it to play music. It is a playable guitar as well. And, of course, you all know my favorite Pokemon. So here is a couple of Snorlaxes and a Munchlax. So a little bit of a extra tour on top for your situation here. Thank you to everyone who donated while I was on this little tour. I am now returning back to the office. And we are seated. All right. I hope you enjoyed this little exploration into some of my knick-knackery. Popping up back to the top of chat before I left. Lyris, thank you for sending a happy poop to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they enjoyed the smell, maybe. As well as a bunch of 100s. I am sure they will continue to keep it 100 because you reminded them 10 times. We appreciate the reminders. Furthermore, Ducky Quacken, thank you for gifting another 10 memberships while I was doing that knick-knack tour. So thank you for your generosity again to enlisting more green names to our cause. And I have caught up. I think there's a Ko-Fi, actually. I don't think I'm actually caught up. Sheeny, thank you for donating again to say, gotta get them mods with Bethesda games. The funniest thing is, up until very recently, I had only played Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 without mods, because I am a console player, and therefore I did not have access. But recently, at least PlayStation got a way to get mods into Fallout 4, and so I put a bunch in and had a very fun time with it. So my mod playthrough of Fallout 4 last year was very fun. Time check. We are currently at 100 minutes out of what was to be a 2-hour stream, maybe longer if we're feeling zesty. And I gotta tell you, I might be feeling a little zesty, so maybe we'll go for 2.5 hours today. So are the green names the infantry and the blue names the officers? Intern Fritz, the green names are your researchers, your mobile task force captains, and your overseers here at Site 42 chat. The white names are the interns, and the blue names are site security. Ten more gifted subs and I get my Pip-Boy and send Dr. Sherman a photo of it. Well, if Des sends me a photo of a Pip-Boy, then I will show it to you if that happens. Play us a song on that guitar for the end of stream. Unfortunately, Oates, I do not know how to play. It's something I wish I had learned to play, and maybe sometime I will get to it, because since I can sing, it'd be very convenient to be able to play guitar and go with that. I love your shrine. I'm playing Fallout 4. I'm at the Far Harbor DLC right now with Nick Valentine. If you're a Fallout fan, by the way, and you're not following a fellow on YouTube called Many a True Nerd, let me direct you to Many a True Nerd, because that guy, Fallout You Only Live Once is such a banger series. He has been doing Fallout content for years, and I never grow tired of it. I also just came upon another Bethesda game YouTuber, which includes Fallout, Skyrim, all of that. And that person I want to shout out is... Pop over here. Oh, nope, let this. So, all outside the SCP fandom, but we're taking a my other fixation tangent. You all did this to yourselves. So, Magoo Dog here makes challenge runs such as, can you beat Fallout 4 with the only skill you take being Vans, the green line guidance? Can you beat the strongest enemy in the game without items in survival mode? Can you beat the whole game without items in survival mode? No weapons, no speech, no quest items, no followers, no food, hardcore mode. These challenges get very entertaining, and I recommend them. And so, Magoo Dog, that is someone you should check out. And then, Many a True Nerd. Many a True Nerd makes all sorts of different gaming content. They cover a lot wider spread of games, but the Fallout You Only Live Once series is nail-biting because you're not allowed to heal. You just got to go through the game. You get to beat the whole game without getting caught. Good stuff. Both channels. This is who I listen to on YouTube when I'm not listening to SCP content. I do a lot of SCP, but sometimes I need to listen to something else for a bit too. I need to get out of the bubble. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say, my wallet's strangling me tonight. We thank you for your generosity. Make sure never to donate past it being safe for you to do so. Okay, I'll head on over and tell him you sent me. Nine-tailed Fox, that's the way. Even when I'm suggesting people who are not in the SCP fandom, if you tell them Dr. Sherman from Site-42 sent you, that only ups our clout. That only gets people interested in SCP because they're like, wait, this SCP guy sent you over here? What's his deal? Maybe I'll check him out. And then we get more people around. It's community work. So I thank you for your service, Mobile Task Force Site-42 codename Signal Boosters, even when you're helping me reach out to non-SCP teams. Hello, baby girl. Very excitable today. A very excitable baby. I'm trying to do a stream. You're very unprofessional. You want the ball? You missed it. You missed it. Do you want the heart instead? Do you want the heart? Oh, we gave up. Oh, we didn't give up. Never give up, never surrender. That's what babies do. She is just a silly baby. And now she's gone. And now she's back, and she brought it. Very happy girl. I give you a treat. But I am working. This is an SCP Foundation stream. This is not a Puppy of Interest 42 codename Charlie stream. I don't even know how we would do that stream. You can't talk to chat. I guess you could hold their interest by being adorable. You probably could do that. Where was I? Ducky Quacken, thank you for donating again to say, I am a tiny secret in a story to another SCP, sir, and I'm currently writing my side of that story, sir. Oh, good luck with your writing. That's always a fun way to interact with a writing community after all. Best of luck on your work. Let me double check my notifications here. The Beast No, thank you for donating again. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi again. I want to clarify that my game will not be gacha for anyone who think it is. Oh, yes, I didn't. You said gambling, but I didn't think it was like a gacha game. Although, when people hear gambling, they think gacha nowadays, so it's an easy mistake to make. Finding an SCP is purely a 30% chance, no money involved. I hope you all have a good day, evening, or night, depending on your time zone. You might get early access, Dr. Sherman, but for now I'm going to bed, so bye all. Well, I'll be looking out for your email, and we'll see what's going on down the way. Some Studios is in the chat, apparently, Desk is telling me. Charlie honestly low diffs any SCP with the cuteness. Honestly, we might want to do. Are you up for some agent training? Do you want to low diff some SCPs with your cuteness? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're going to beat them all. You're going to beat them all with your cuteness.
She's doing well in her obstacle course training. Top of the class.
Alright. Hey, have you doubled your official goal yet? We saw you getting pretty close to that. Since we got the team here, why don't we take a quick sponsorship break? Because, of course, they're not paying me to say I'm sponsoring them with attention. That SCP Galleonic, the SCP anime, is on the table right now. They have already beaten their pledge goal by, well, a lot. Let me refresh that. Let me see if that's still there. Yep, it's getting closer to that 167. Don't say anything about that. But why don't we close off our ambience for a second and enjoy our guest's work.
So, your choice. What will it be?
The best out of there. And we're getting SCP anime coming soon. And it's gonna be so freaking sweet. And I cannot wait for the boom and the blood and the people looking tense and scared. Running through the facility, wings of the angels and dragons and trees. Yeah, you better hold tight. Are you in it? I don't know, some studios. Am I in it? Some. If you're here, it's time to tell the people. Am I in it? Because I don't know. Maybe. Could be. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know, man. It could be a rumor. Could be just something crazy. Bring back my ambiance. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say. Update on SCP United, by the way. Good. Hey, I like good. Keep up the good work. Did we scare off some? They might have just dropped in for a second. It is possible with time zones and stuff. They just saw us live and jumped in to say hi. Son Goku, thank you for sending 2 bronze medals, 2 hundos, 2 bronze medals to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 1 hundo whilst trying to go for the silver and the gold. And Captain Peter Turner, thank you for a bronze medal as well. I'm sure they will keep fighting for greater acclamations. Some studio says, perchance. Perchance he's in it. Perchance. You are the main character of SCP. Oh, by no means are we going that far. I am just the loudest son of a bitch in SCP. That is all. When's the next Taco Tuesday? Well, that would be tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's Taco Tuesday? Dr. Sherman, thoughts on the SCP-096 short movie? Mr. Clay, along with our friends Dark Math Studios, did a great job on that SCP-096 short film. I like that it does the time with the tack gear and the monsters and all that, but it also takes time to interview the researchers, to deal with the overseers. So it gives a lot more of the fullness of the SCP world, not just the tack gear guys, which I get a little bored with when it's only that. I like the way it's a lot more spread out. Pardon me. Ooh. Woes Calm, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself, I guess, a better radio so you can send us more than an SOS. Ducky Quacken, thank you for donating again to say. Actually, out of curiosity for the entire team, has anyone seen Markiplier's movie Iron Lung? That movie was psychologically fascinating. Oh, I went to Iron Lung on opening night when I could. Yeah, that was a good movie. And of course, I've been a Mark fan for a long time, and I'm hoping to use him as a role model, a path to follow toward getting SCP movies made. So I gotta keep an eye on what that guy's doing. That's why I was also seated for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and I will be seated for the Backrooms movie up and coming. Dr. Sherman needs his own show, but the entire show is just him filing paperwork. Season finale, a minor breach occurs. We don't even see it, just more paperwork. You know, Rave Haven, that reminds me of Hot Fuzz. Let's do it where there is some action, some research happening, but we make all the scenes with the paperwork really action heavy like Edgar Wright would. There we go. By the way, Dr. Sherman, Site-42 will definitely have a reference in my game. Well, I appreciate that very much, Beast Snow. I am happy being here to do my part to help signal boost the teams of the SCP Foundation. And, you know, it is fun to do art. So when people invite me to be in their game, be in their show, do voice work, I mean, that's what I got into this to do in the first place. And so I'm always happy to help out, jump in. Love of the game, people. Love of the game. Hey, Dr. Sherman, we know your favorite integration program SCP is SCP-5715, codename Death Knife. But what about the engagement division? You don't need to answer the stream, you can read them off stream and answer later. I don't know the engagement division by name. Let me see if that's something I can look up easily and take a peek and see if there's something I know of. Anomalous Entity Engagement Division. The AEED is involved in the containment of, For Duck's Sake, SCP-6714, Sweet Tooth Sammy, 6245, 2689, Finding Percy, 7199, Do Me a Favor and Be Grateful for Yourself, 8961, A Heuristic Game of Dungeons and Dragons, 1508, The Buddy, 8940, Beautiful Pain. Okay, I don't know a single one of those SCPs by name or number. So yeah, I would have to do some reading before I could have an answer for that. Rave Haven, thank you for donating again to say, I just realized I don't know how I got into SCP. Well, that's me, man. I don't know how I got here. Too many amnestic treatments, if you know what I mean. My earliest memory is both. My earliest memory is using SCP documents and entities and anomaly spaces and things like that for a D&D game I was running over 10 years ago. But I don't remember how I knew about SCP to do that. My thought is maybe it was Markiplier playing Containment Breach. That's what kind of makes me think that might be the case. ARG Sands, thank you for, I think, your first actual donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a iced tea on your way past the commissary. The scientists are struggling with the blasters. Well, hey, they'll do their research. They'll do their job. Site 42 Containment Hazard Assessment Team, please remember, there are 2 blue names in the staff, in the Containment Hazard Assessment Team chat. Those are the moderators. If a blue name talks, you better look at it, because you might be breaking a rule and not knowing it. And if they have acknowledged that you're doing something and you don't pay attention to them, you might get banned because you weren't paying attention. So if you see a blue name in the chat, make sure to at least read what they say. You may want to read the orientation before going into the skips. Our protocols are very different. Aye, aye, I'll check the orientation. All right, it's been a minute since we did this. How about we cover another Hippo Skippo? Going to the Great Hippos author page. Let's see if we can find another banger. If I remember correctly, nope, not that one. This one is fairly popular. SCP-4028, codename La Historia de Don Quixote de la Mancha. Don Quixote is an SCP running into other people's stories and getting into fights with them, if I remember correctly. I haven't read this one in ages, so if someone who is knowledgeable about SCP-4028 wants to give me a quick summary so I can give the right information to the chat, I would appreciate it. While I'm waiting for a nice little explanation here, I will look at these donations that came in. The things we remember. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a parfait on your way past the commissary. If you have an SCP that is exactly like human with anomalous means, and they have confirmed genitalia, could they reproduce or are they infertile? Don't tell me you're one of those monster fuckers. Remember, we don't fraternize with anomalies. But furthermore, anomalous humanoids and anomalous animals both are typically capable of breeding, and pregnancy can occur that might pass on an anomalous trait or not, depending on the anomaly. I'm watching you. Ducky Quacken, thank you for donating again to say. Also, if anyone on this team is looking for a good old-fashioned comic book, I've recently gotten back into one called Elf Quest by Wendy and Richard Peeney. I personally love the story and the art style. I am not familiar with Elf Quest, but your recommendation might be good for people in the chat. I saw at least one person who already enjoyed them. We send Fred to Don Quixote and Don gets mad. Then in a second article, Sancho travels the SCP Wiki and encounters different skips to return to Don Quixote. They end by fighting windmills. Well, that is definitely in Don Quixote's oeuvre. So, oh boy. Seif Captain, thank you for sending a bronze medal to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure the chat will continue striving for silver and gold, but are glad to have won any award at all. Intern Villain. The SCP Foundation in universe was founded at multiple times. There is no hard canon. So sometimes the SCP Foundation is said to have formed in the early 1900s to the late 1800s. Very often it forms from a private hunter's lodge of anomalies that kind of grew and grew with private funding. If you're talking about in real life, the first SCP was written in 2007, meaning that we are now in 2026, getting close to 20 years of SCP content on the internet. Dr. Sherman, did you know I share the same name as one of the characters in SCP Gallionic? Brian Frogman Will Die is an actual character in SCP Gallionic. I do know about the you get to play the character who dies reward tier on there. But is your name Brian Frogman? That's an odd coincidence. By the way, Site42 staff, we are currently 25 minutes until the end of stream. 25 minutes until the end of stream. I wonder, has anyone made a Mickey Mouse SCP since it became public domain? 369 Destroyer, I am almost certain that happened. But let me see what we got now. Mickey Mouse. Yes, SCP-8290, codename Mickey Mouse from Steamboat Willie, unaffiliated with the Walt Disney Company. So, 8290 is a thaumaturgical entity resembling a character Mickey Mouse in the 1928 film Steamboat Willie. Its measurement fluctuates due to its unique physiology, though it typically hovers around 50 centimeters in height and 50 grams in weight. It appears unable to communicate outside of grunts and laughs, and attempts to communicate thus far have failed. Addendum. Minor reality warping abilities, creating its own laws of physics. It has access to hammer space, can flatten its body and stretch its limbs. It is, in fact, Mickey Mouse. Being Mickey Mouse on the SCP Wiki, because copyright got let go. On January 1st, 2024, the copyright binding 8290 of the Walt Disney Company expired. Foundation agents were on the scene ready to take 8290 into custody when it breached containment, barreling through several walls at a rate of 400 kilometers an hour. It sought out Gunther Lessing from his office in the Walt Disney Studios Burbank location, where it proceeded to kick him in the rear end, sending him through the air at a rate of 800 kilometers per hour. Mr. Lessing landed 4,000 meters away, although unharmed by this due to 8290's anomalous effect. Mr. Lessing was found deceased due to old age. Huh. How long is this stream, bro? You've been streaming for like 30 years, bro chacho. Very funny. Our typical stream length is a maximum of 3 hours, which we call Dr. Sherman's office hours. Dr. Sherman's office hours last anywhere from 1.5 hours to 3 hours. If it is a coffee break with Dr. Sherman, it is then between 10 to 20 minutes at minimum to a 90-minute stream. And then Fan Art Friday is Friday, however long Friday is. Yes, desk. Max to 3 hours, unless Dr. Sherman eats a Bible. In which case, yes, we have to go over because it takes longer to eat a Bible than I first estimated. Ducky Quacken, thank you for sending a power potion to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain that they feel the power! Opinion on the SCP anime that is coming. Intern Crows, I'm happy to say that SCP Gallionic seems to be the real deal. The team that is working on it is a small team of friends who are animators and the professional anime industry. They have worked for Studio Mappa, Studio Toei. They have worked on Jujutsu Kaisen, Dandadan, Mushoku Tensei. These people have legit chops, legit credits. which is what we've been waiting for here at the SCP Foundation. Furthermore, they are doing this all the right way by hand. They are not doing artificial intelligence, which thank fuck. And so we here at Site42 are in full support of SCP the anime coming up. We are sharing it far and wide, as are our friends in Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. All glory to some studios. In fact, the intern that asked about the anime, intern Crows, we had some studios in the chat not just a little bit ago to check in with the team and see how things are going. And on top of which, they have nearly doubled their Kickstarter. We need them to get higher though, so keep hyping at people. Woes Calm, thank you for donating again to say, emergency. Lost a small city to 008, send help. Oh great, more zombies. Okay, send us your coordinates and we will send a cleanup squad. Would the Martian heat ray be classified as an anomalous object? Intern, man from Mars, I'm unfamiliar with this Martian heat ray you speak of. I need more details to answer your question. What is the Martian heat ray? If you're talking about the fictional weapon from the series War of the Worlds, then it is wholly possible it's anomalous since it's made of alien technology. If it were a heat ray made by us and we used it through conventional means, then it would not be anomalous. Woescom is taking time from their zombie emergency to tell me that the War of the Worlds is the correct answer. So if that's right, then I'm happy to explain that's the answer to the question. His hair color explains it all and invalidates everything he says. Intern Shambles, are you so lame that colored hair makes you angry? Or sad? What do you mean my fashion invalidates my opinion? This looks fly. You can live in denial all you want. The only thing in shambles is your attitude. You low-key carried 2022. Oh yeah, when we got it big on TikTok, man, did we have a time running through SCP TikTok and pushing that up to the front. That was a boom in people getting into the SCP Foundation through Site42. Good times. Ducky Quacken, thank you for donating again to say, I hope everybody has a good night. There's work to do. Stay safe and have fun, team. Salute. Well, salute to you too, and keep up the good work, and thank you for your generosity today as well. And 100 stars, thank you for sending a hundo to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they will continue to keep it 100. Woescom, we need to quarantine the state of Washington, you say? Thank you for donating, but that's more than a small town, like you said. That's a little more intense of an ask. I'm going back into my memory when this happened in the iZombie scenario and how we were able to cordon off the town and keep disinformation going until we couldn't. I'll get containment on it. Dr. Sherman, do you think I could get away with calling Brian Frogman Cousin Frogman? Well, that would depend on you and Brian Frogman's relationship. I don't know how close you guys are. Do you have any of the Foundation books? I am in possession of both the original and the newly updated version of There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, as well as an anthology book that myself and several SCP authors, as well as industry talent like... Now I can't remember their names off the top of my head. Who was in the book with me? It's been a couple years. I was in the book with G.D. Folkson, Tara Platt, Nikki Laika, K.W. Jeter, Kyle Aram, DJ Cactus, Phil Brucato, Anna Maguire, Yuri Lowenthal, Sam Swicegood, Ross E. Lockhart, myself, and John Gregory Betancourt. And so being in the same place as Yuri Lowenthal was pretty cool. I was in a book with Spider-Man. That was fun. And of course, Radiger was there. Tara Platt, I know her voice acting. I just can't remember any roles she's done so far. Good times. What time is the stream ending? 100 stars is a time check. We are 14 minutes from the end of stream. 14 minutes from the end of stream for the time check. Has there been a time where someone had a power with so little effect that you still try to hold it in a cell or just leave them? Intern Yaya, if they have an anomaly, no matter how small, we are going to contain them. The, oh, it's harmless does not work when it comes to containing the anomalous, because knowing about the anomalous is, in and of itself, harm for the general public. So if it's anomalous, it goes in a box. It doesn't matter how inconsequential. Woescom, thank you for donating again. Remember when it was dumped into the water supply? There's a chance that it will doom secrecy, but we need to. Don't want another Markiplier incident. Well, we definitely don't want another Markiplier incident. We just found a nice new dimension and planet to inhabit. We don't need to go moving again so soon. So, yes, I mean, don't doom secrecy. That's the first failure of our defenses before we have to evacuate. Lock it together. What do you need to get this shut down quickly? Alpha 4 Mobile Task Force Agent Perry Baxter, created by Radiger, has the anomalous ability that everyone thinks first of every month is their birthday. So, Agent Baxter gets 12 birthdays a year is what you're saying. Cool. Dr. Sherman, what if you are born without eyelids? That's got to be possible, right? And Peanut pulls up. Then you're going to have a bad time. Because yes, you're sitting there staring at Peanut because you can't blink. That's fine. But what sort of eye moisturing situation must you have to continue to have eyes without eyelids? If your eyelids are removed, eventually your eyes are going to dry out, become very painful, become infected. You will lose them. So depending on how long they haven't had eyelids, probably they don't have eyes, are therefore blind, and while immune to SCP-096, are now toast when 173 shows up. Who is SCP-001? Intern Allen, that's classified. How to contain SCP-610? Intern Neto, look at the document for SCP-610. It's written right there in black and white. SCP-610. Containment procedures. Isolation of the area is how we contain it because it's such a vast area of infection that we just make sure nothing goes in or out of that area. We use incendiary weapons if an entity gets close to the boundary. It's right there on the database. $369 Destroyer, thank you for what I think is your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a donut on your way past the commissary. Not a dad donut. Let me be clear. Not a dad donut. A donut on your way past the commissary. Would the Martian's Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator be anomalous? The Illudium Q-36 explosive space modulator? Well, yes. Yes, again, alien technology, clearly anomalous. Although, for that one at least, I am a little more afraid for the incoming earth-shattering kaboom. I'm worried my co-fighting can go through. Beast, no, if it was your final message before you go to bed, a quick fun fact, then I see it now, but I have not seen it before. Now I see it. Thank you for donating again. Final message before I go to bed. A quick fun fact before I leave. I've been doing all this for my donations to my chats on a ROG Ally that I got on Facebook Marketplace for $3,000. ROG, the gaming company, that's who I use, do it being what they had at my computer store locally as well. Also, would Zen from Half-Life be considered anomalous? GLaDOS is already a joke SCP, so yes, the Zen are an outer dimensional race, if I believe that's right, not just aliens. Very anomalous. Very anomalous. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say, the Void called is upset people think it's the Abyss. Oh yeah, don't mix up the Void and the Abyss. Jeez. That's like calling SCP-953 a kitsune. You're not going to like what happens if you get the wrong terminology there. Not 3,350. I thought I said 350, but I might have been just stuttering or rushing. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good get for that brand. Remember, not sponsored by ROG. We're just talking about that right now. Boeing, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself better safety standards on your way past the commissary. What if you locked the cursed toilet SCP-173 and SCP-redacted in a room? Are you calling SCP-173 a cursed toilet because it spills poop everywhere? That's creative, to say the least. And what is that underlined SCP you redacted? I don't know what you're doing here. Because I don't know what that second SCP is or what you mean by cursed toilet, I don't know what's up. But you have 7 minutes left in stream to tell me what's going on. Da-na-na-na-na-na. You guys are thinking they mean the procrastination rock, but they didn't put a -J at the end. The procrastination rock has a -J at the end of its underscores. It's 3 underscores and a J for the procrastination rock. Woscom, thank you for donating again to say, Zen, it's a world. But isn't that also the race of aliens? Zen is the border world, the plane of existence connecting two or more universes, which Zen can be referred to as. So Zen is the dimension. Okay, I see. It is the retreat of Nihilant species. I see. So those are the aliens. Still, it is another dimension, and that means that, yes, it is still considered anomalous even as a part of nature because civilians don't know about it. We don't do multiverse for the public, we do multiverse for our own research. Boeing, thank you for donating again to say, would the spy from Team Fortress 2 be anomalous? And I'm talking about SCP-2521 and 7939-J. Okay, we can talk about 2521 safely in this stream only due to the desk's cognitohazardous, memetic, and infohazardous filters. So this is the only place we can get away with saying 2521, so be careful with that in the future, people. And 7939-J, I don't know about that one. SCP 7939-J. I don't see a -J coming up here. 7939 is a toilet, though. 7939 is a designation for an anomalous phenomenon which toilet units will manifest outside of Foundation personnel's homes and places of work. When any of the events occur, if you touch it, a sound over 30 decibels happens, or a non-anomalous toilet is used within range of the anomalous teleporting toilet, it will spontaneously detonate with a blast power up to or equivalent of 3 kilograms of TNT. So exploding teleporting toilets. I have not looked into 7939. Very interesting. Strange, but interesting. So, I guess if you wrote 2521 on an exploding toilet and it didn't count as touching it because you used a marker or something, then I imagine that 2521 would take you and the toilet, and the explosion would happen wherever 2521 goes. I don't believe we've tested sending 2521 with a bomb somewhere, so I don't know if that would destroy the anomaly or not. This is too much to consider hypothetically, unfortunately. We just don't have a way to test that. Intern BK, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a boyga on your way past the commissary. Have you seen the SCP Gallionic trailer? Oh, my friend. We watched it on stream just earlier today, as well as pretty much every day since the Kickstarter went live. We've been shouting out SCP Gallionic, or specifically SOM Studios, for several years now. So no, we are the beating heart Mobile Task Force Psi-42 codename Signal Booster in spreading them far and wide. So yeah, we're on board, and thank you for knowing about it and spreading the word in case we didn't. Because if we didn't know about it, you telling us would be very important, so you're doing a good job being a Signal Booster as well. Thank you, Intern BK. Boeing, thank you for donating again to say, do SCPs pass gas, and can you test it on a... What the hell are you curious about that for? Yes, some biological anomalies, humanoid or animalistic or otherwise, with biological digestion systems, sometimes pass gas. You're scaring me with your questions now. And I see no reason to test that with a D-class either. Woscom, thank you for donating again to say, quick question, have you played Kill It With Fire? Not only have I not played Kill It With Fire, I have never heard of Kill It With Fire. I do not know what that is. Desk is telling me Kill It With Fire is a game where you kill spiders in your house with random stuff, including a hairspray flamethrower. Well, that just sounds to my daily life when it comes to spiders. I don't need a game for that. That's what I do. All right, Site 42 staff, we have made it to the end of today's stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. Of course, I'm not going to tell you the SCPs I personally know or personally wrote are my favorites. That would be cheating. It would be narcissistic of me to do so. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There, you can read the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects too. And while you're on my author page, one tab over from those SCPs, there's a list of links. A list of links including some that people are very curious to find, but they just don't look hard enough. It's very sad for them. But not you guys. You guys would certainly win at finding those links and becoming a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member of Site 42 to support us monthly by doing Ko-Fi donations or YouTube Super Chats to donate to us one at a time. Either way, we greatly appreciate your generosity if you directly donate. That's the quickest way to help us keep the lights on here at Site 42 for my staff and myself. Furthermore, if you cannot afford to donate because you're part of the broke gang, and trust me, we're an arts community, we do not have a problem with starving artists. In fact, it's a lot of us. But if you are broke gang, you can still be a valued and honored member of Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codename the Signal Boosters. When you like, share, subscribe, comment, chat, not just on our works, but on the works of SCP projects we support, such as the SCP Galleonic and the SCP Eyes of the Beholder Kickstarter that are now in our Site 42 support beacon, as well as the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters, etc. You are helping us to support these groups, get more eyes on them, get more funding for them, so we can have SCP feature films, so we can have SCP animated series, so we can have a prestige SCP drama, a la Warehouse 13, so we can have SCP AAA games. All of this because of the intrepid efforts of you, Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codenamed the Signal Boosters. So we thank you for your service. Intern Monica, fraternizing means having relations with. It can be lightly used as friendly conversation, brotherhood, things like that, but it often devolves into contexts of sexuality, and we do not want people having close relationships, sexual or otherwise, with anomalies. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say, how contain the void or the abyss or the darkness? That is a wide set of anomalous containment procedures there. You would have to talk to the relevant departments. That is pretty vast and wide breadth of research there. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 503-15-155-320, content warning last one, it's a rough read. Site 42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the Anomalous Broadcast from Site 42. My outro is being interrupted. Let me see what this notification is. Boeing, thank you for donating again to say, can SCP-173 be taught to learn the art of flying a Boeing F-18 Super Hornet owned by the United States Navy? No, SCP-173 does not have any other cognitive actions except for move and snap neck, and poop and bleed everywhere. It cannot fly a plane. Whew. And so Site 42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the Anomalous Broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. We'll do it all. Everything on our own. We don't need anything or anyone. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? The credit song is Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol. Be safe, be well, Site-42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream.